Kraus for LDRS Creative and welcome to another card making video. Today I will be using the new birthday bash stamp set and coordinating dies along with the essential birthday sentiments. So I have already pre-stamped and I have other images around it that's from different stamp set. It's called Hawaiian Vacation. I'll just cut out the images that we'll use for today's card and leave the rest for future use. Usually when I have piece of watercolor paper, I stamp a bunch of images together and I save the rest that I'm not using for future use. So I don't have any waste of my watercolor paper. So for the background, I'm using my Karin markers and here I'm using 7 markers to create a rainbow. I'm working on glass surface here. Any non-porous surface would work. I have a sprayer bottle here and I sprayed the ink on my surface and also I sprayed the watercolor paper and I just smushed them together. So because I put the order of the markers scribbles in a rainbow order, you can see here we have little rainbow background. So I just wanted to add a little bit more interest because this is a birthday card, so I just wanted to create kind of feeling of confetti around. So scribbled marker on my acrylic block, added a little bit of water, and I just used my watercolor brush to do some very tiny splatters. So this kind of creates the feeling of confetti around that background. Okay, I will set that one even though I used my heat tool. I'll set it aside to dry and we're going to move to watercoloring our image. I'm again using my Karin markers. This time I'm using, I scribbled them on my glass mat and I'm just using regular brush to pick up that color and do my watercoloring. So this is sped up so you don't watch me here for half an hour coloring the rhino and the balloons. But once I color the image once, I go back and add a little bit more ink or color to create more shadows. Okay, I'm coloring the little bit dot for the nose and then the ears and the little cheek. I'm using very pale pink ink. So next we're going to move to the balloons and I will use pink, blue and orange. I mean green. We'll do a little bit of orange on the little hat. So because I'm working here quickly, I decided to heat set once I colored one area. I'm using my heat tool on the low setting to dry it out. So I avoid any bleeding of the color because I'm coloring areas that are next to each other. Just adding a little bit more color and spreading it with my paintbrush. Okay, there is one more balloon. I thought I was gonna do orange, but I decided to go with the green. As in the background we created, the green is not that visible. So I just wanted to add more green onto my card. Just adding directly marker to the balloon and then spreading it with my paintbrush. Okay, I think the rhino's done. We're gonna color the little hat now. And then we're gonna die cut the image, the rhino with the balloons and the hat using the coordinating dies. Before that, I actually decided to add some highlights with a white gel pen. I'm using 1.0 white gel pen. I feel like it's visible the best, like the thicker the tip of the pen is, the better contrast you're able to get for those highlights and even little details. So okay, I'm positioning and securing the dies on top of my image. Just want to make sure that when I run it through my die cutting machine, that doesn't move and I don't ruin the already colored image. By magic of YouTube, there are die cut images. So also by magic of YouTube, I trim my background to 4 by 5.25, and now I'm picking out sentiment from the Essential Birthday Sentiments to stamp on the bottom of my panel. I decided to go with a simple happy birthday to you, and I will stamp it a couple times using the Raven Hybrid ink, which is black ink, because the paper is a little bit thicker, the watercolor paper, so I stamp a few times to have nice coverage. Okay, I think that's nice and straight. And also, since I'm stamping a few times, the ink will still be dry, not dry, but wet. So I'm able to add clear embossing powder, and just because the ink will still be wet, it will stick to the ink, and I'm able to emboss it. Okay, so I have my clear embossing powder here. I added that to the sentiment, and now I'm using my heat tool to melt that embossing powder. Next, we can just move to finishing up that card. I'm gonna adhere the little hat using some liquid glue to the Rhino. I'll just add little dots of adhesive on the back, and then I will add foam tape on back of the Rhino. I just wanted to create a little bit more dimension and interest to the panel. Okay, whenever I'm using foam tape, I add liquid adhesive on the back. It gives me the time to, even like if I don't like where it is, if I don't press it hard, I'll still have some time to move that image or sentiment and positioning the way I want. Again, I'm using my white gel pen to add little confetti or little white dots around the image to create a little bit more interest and more like kind of make that background more festive. Again, I'm using the 1.0 gel pen. They're different, they're 0.5, 0.8, 1.0 available. I have all of them, but I find best one to be the 1.0, especially for adding highlights and creating little dots on a background, whether it's like confetti or stars or just white dots. So now it's time to finish up the card. I had pre-made white top folding note card. I used piece of white cardstock and cut it down to 4.25 by 11, and then just scored at 5.5 and fold it down. So I'm adding my foam tape on back of that panel again to create dimension. I like when the entire panel is covered with foam tape. That's another reason I also use a stack of cardstock panels. So because it creates more sturdiness, and the cardstock adds more weight, but when you have this foam tape like this, it has pretty good chance to go pretty well through the mail. Again, I added some liquid adhesive on the back and adhered to my note card. And here's our finished card. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you're inspired to go and make something similar. I can't wait to see what you create. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to the LDRS Creative YouTube channel, and also visit our blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!